Hello, guys. Let's see how we are going. See if we are on, and I think it's working. I think we are good. I am sorry we are starting a little bit late. My daughter just came in. She's pregnant, and it was the first time I thought I was going to be able to feel the baby move, and so y'all had to wait. I'm sorry. Can I have your priorities? She didn't want to go for her GG, but we're waiting on it. Anyway, so I'm sorry I'm late. I'm getting oiled up right now. Got my wintergreen going. Well, hello, Rebecca and Paula. I'm glad to see that it is working. As you come in, you guys tell me where you're from. Tell me what oils you are using. And just give us a big hello, hello. For real, that is the best reason, Rebecca. It would have been better if she actually wiggled so I can feel her. She's having another little girl, which we're super excited about. But I'll take what I can take. I got some grapefruit going on. I've been using a whole lot of grapefruit. Grapefruit helps to, well, grapefruit vitality helps to metabolize some fat and get some things moving. So I have been drinking a lot of my grapefruit and then using the Cellulite Magic with extra grapefruit and Leadum, rubbing it on. So with all the weight I have been losing, I won't have stretch marks, hopefully. So we are looking at all the good things. So I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I know that you're going to ask questions and things, but I won't see it. I have the attention span of a gnat. And if I look over there and start reading, I will forget what I'm talking about. So what I will do though is afterwards, I'll post all your questions, any thoughts, any things, you post them in there. And if I don't answer it during the whole call, what I will do is go back and I look at all of your questions and I look at all of your sweet comments and I love them. And I will go back and answer any questions. So hopefully we will get through the whole thing. So today is week 1 of our 4-week detox. And next week we are going to be covering, today we're covering the gut and your microbiome. Next week we're going to cover your liver and your kidneys, because this is a part of all of your detox organs. We're also going to talk about your skin, because that's another place that we detox through. The next week, which will be May 18th, we're going to be talking about toxins and metals. Let's see, we're going to talk about molds, fungus. What else? We are talking about parasites, the critters that should not be in there. We're going to talk about them as well. So we're going to be talking about lots of different things over the next 4 weeks. And some of what I teach is going to overlap because Gary really put together amazing products that work for multiple things. But each week when I talk about, if it's another product that I've already spoke about, I will tell you why it works in the category we're talking about. So you'll get to really understand the connections and how they all work together. This used to be one of my favorite classes. I taught this series all the time. And it's one of those things you feel like everybody knows. But the truth is, I don't think most people know. I don't think we know how the body works. So I'm going to start with some basics. So you know, digestion starts right here in your saliva. It starts right here. Your saliva makes something called amylase, which is an enzyme that begins breaking down carbohydrates. So if you were to eat a piece of bread, it begins breaking down that bread really, really quickly and turning it into smaller molecules. So all of the enzymes, their whole job is to break things down tiny enough so it can be taken through our bloodstream. All the nutrients can be taken and used in our body the way they're supposed to be. So that is the reason for enzymes. We'll talk more about those coming up. But amylase starts right here, and you start creating more amylase right in your saliva when you smell food cooking. So your body automatically connects and goes, woo woo, we got something yummy coming, and it starts increasing the amylase. That's the salivation, when something smells really good and you salivate. That's why your body's getting ready. The second part of digestion is your teeth, that chewing motion that we do. Chewing is huge and important because it breaks a big piece of steak down into a smaller piece. And when it's smaller and flatter, there's more area for your hydrochloric acid, which happens in your stomach, and those enzymes to begin breaking down that meat or that carrot. You ate a carrot. Same concept, it's just broken up by different enzymes. So that chewing motion is important. So if you are a gulper, you take your food and you're done eating before everybody else because you barely chew, right? You might want to consciously start thinking about chewing, because when we're talking about cleaning out your gut and getting the gut working, have to start with a good plan to begin with. So make sure you're chewing your food and then you swallow. I want everybody to swallow with me right now. Just and did you feel how down here it moved like a wave and it took that food and it went down? I want you to understand what that is. That is something that's called peristalsis. And peristalsis is hugely important. Peristalsis is the process of us moving food from one place to the next. And that happens when we swallow. It also happens in the small intestines. That whole time your intestines are moving, and that movement is called peristalsis. We're going to come back to that in just a second. Then it goes right into your stomach, and your stomach does a massaging motion as well. And that massaging motion, enzymes are squirted into there, and you have your hydrochloric acid, and both of those work to break down anything that you just ate, from a salad to a Dairy Queen. It is the same process, and your body kicks out how many enzymes it needs according to what you just ate. So our body is brilliant. It is designed to clean and repair and fix itself all the time. So it kicks all that out and then it mushes it together. And that mush, that stuff that's left over, is called chyme. And what it is a liquid mess that has been dissolved by the enzymes and the hydrochloric acid. So it can go into the small intestines in a liquid form. And that's a good thing. It's supposed to happen. So when I teach you guys and I say, when you take your essential oils, if you do just a drop in your mouth or you take like a shot glass and you drink those oils, you get more absorption than you do if you do it in a capsule. Because in a capsule, it gets into that hydrochloric acid and your body begins breaking down some of the oils. It's supposed to, it's designed to, but we lose a little bit of the absorption in the process. But when we put those oils directly under your tongue, I remember Gary saying it was like a 7-to-1. So 7 drops in a capsule. It's just 1 drop that you have to put in your mouth of Vitality oil. And because of the absorption, you get so much absorption right inside your mouth. So just things to think about. So that hydrochloric acid releases everything through the valve and it goes into your small intestines. And this is where more enzymes are kicked out and that peristalsis begins moving. Now, peristalsis is super important. It's not just about pushing the food through us. Because here's the deal. It's a big tube. Like we have this big tube that goes around and around and it swirls and does all these different things. But in the end, something comes out, right? That's the end of the tube. And if all we had to do was get something through the tube, you could think of a garden hose. I could put a marble in one end of a garden hose and I could lift that garden hose up and it would roll and come out the other end. That's not the only thing that peristalsis does. This is the important part. Peristalsis massages the food up to the side of the intestines. And inside your intestines, you have these teeny tiny little hairs. They're called villi. And the villi act like teeny tiny little straws that suck all the nutrients inside the body and they go into the veins and they get shot throughout the body and taken to where they need to go because your body knows what it wants to do with it, but it's got to have all the tools to break it down. Now, what happens when we don't have peristalsis, and this is where most of our problem is coming from, there's so many things that actually paralyzes that movement so we don't have it. So think junk food, think high fructose corn syrup, think of all the different toxins and chemicals that we are around on a regular basis. And each one of those things slows the movement. Now, why is that important? When the movement isn't happening, you can get encrusted fecal matter, where just all this undigested food is just sitting in there because nothing is massaging it out. Think toothpaste, right? You have toothpaste inside the container and you can open the lid of your toothpaste, but the toothpaste doesn't get on the brush until something squishes it, moves it. That's what we need happening to us because we have all this undigested stuff. And what happens is, even if you're eating all organic, you're doing all natural, you are popping all the supplements, like, it's been 3 months, I still don't feel any better. Part of the reason you're not feeling better is you're not getting the absorption. And that absorption happens with this motion right here. Think about how they milk a cow, right? They grab that teat and they squeeze together and they pull it down. Well, back in the olden days, now we have machines that do it, but it pushes that through. That's how it's supposed to happen for us. That peristalsis is supposed to squish and move, and it pushes the food up against the villi, and those villi can now suck the food in. So some of the stuff we're going to talk about today is how to retrain your intestines to have peristalsis. Some of the things we're going to talk about are ways to increase the length of those hairs, those little villi, how to increase them. We have villi, and then we have microvilli, which are even tinier that suck up other pieces. But again, if this isn't happening, the straws, the villi can't get to the food, so it can't suck it in, and so we have problems. So we're going to talk about that. Another thing, really important, is inside your bowels, actually all over your body, you have thousands, tens of thousands of all of these good bacteria and some not so good bacteria that go through and do all kinds of things. They go through and they tell your body what to do and how to do it. They actually say that we have a second brain and it's in our gut and it's telling us what to do. Like 80% of the serotonin in your body is made in your gut, and it's a partnership with all of these bacteria. Think a symbiosis, right? So they can't live if we don't give them what they need, and we can't live when we don't have them doing the things they're supposed to do. And when they begin to die off and we have less good guys than we have bad guys, then we see sickness and disease. So some of the stuff we're going to talk about today is just giving our body back what it's designed, some things that we need to be able to keep all that good flora. Good flora on your skin, so important, y'all. We have critters everywhere. Like, did you know there's critters along your eyelashes? There are critters everywhere, and they work in tandemship. So not all life forms that are in and on us are bad. Most of them, as a matter of fact, are really good for us. They help our brain to be able to function better. They help our heart rate. They help us to be able to get different nutrients. They help us to be able to create some of the enzymes that we're supposed to have. That's crazy to me. So there's some things that we're going to do. So before we start talking about some of the Young Living stuff, because I know that's something everybody wants to go to, I got to give you a few basics. One of the basics to have a bowels that function like they're supposed to is water. We're supposed to have water. Water makes everything work better. It gives that fluidity that our cells are supposed to have. So make sure you are drinking water. You need half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. And if you are detoxing, like you're consciously doing stuff to get the garbage out, then you need to add about 20 more ounces of water. And the reason why I say it this way instead of saying 7 glasses of water, 8, is because we're all different. My size, my body needs more water than somebody that's 110 pounds. That's just the facts. Somebody that's 120 pounds, they're going to need 60 ounces of water plus that 20 when you're detoxing. For me, that's a bigger number. And it makes sense. If I were to take a shower, there's a whole lot more soap getting soaked up on me than there's going to be soaked up on somebody who is smaller. Same concept inside. So if you're going to do some detoxing, up your water. If you have not been drinking a lot of water, please don't start any of the detoxing until you've gotten yourself where it's normal for you to be able to drink half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. So I don't want you to do any of the deep stuff. But food, there are things that you could do to feed your gut. The first one I'm going to talk about is some serious, you need some fermented foods. We need things like kimchi. We need things like kefir. We need things like yogurt, not the yogurt that you buy in the store that's full of garbage. Go for yourself for one that doesn't have all that sugar added and all the chemicals. That fermentation process is important because all those fermented foods, things like sauerkraut, y'all, it is so easy to make your own sauerkraut. It is super cheap. All you're going to do is grab yourself a cabbage, you're going to shred it up, and seriously, you can go on YouTube and find 1,000 videos that teach you how to make it. We have what's it called, sauerkraut going almost all the time, made in my refrigerator, different things, because it's good flora. And then we need to trade. So if you make your kombucha and you love kombucha, you're a kombucha girl, make your own kombucha, but then trade with somebody else's, trade different starters, because some of the life forms in their home are going to be a little bit different than the life forms you have. And for life forms and all that microbiome that we're supposed to have, it's variety is queen. Having the biggest, widest variety of different good bacteria is the thing that's going to help you to feel better. Like certain diseases, they have studied and they can tell that that is definitely low in a certain bacteria that you're supposed to have. And when they increase that bacteria, they see differences in like some big diseases, y'all. I'm not going to go into that today. I'm just going to tell you to start feeding it. So if you are somebody who is doing some of the fermented foods, find somebody to trade with. If you're not and none of your friends know how, get together and have a fermentation party. So go on YouTube, get a couple of different videos, a couple of different things that you guys are all going to make. You'll make them together, and then you guys can get together monthly and trade different things that you're making so you all can get a little bit of variety in your life. It'd be a fun get together anyways, because we're lonely and we need to be getting together. So that's good flora. You also got to get something that's called prebiotics. I want you to write this one down. Prebiotics are food that feeds all those good bacteria that we have in our body. So what is a prebiotic? Most prebiotics are types of fiber. So up your vegetables, I talk about your greens all the time, and some of the your greens, some of what's in there is a prebiotic. So when you're eating those greens, it goes in and it feeds your flora so that they can continue to reproduce, have more, make better decisions, help with your neurotransmitters, and all the other things that they do. So your greens, any vegetables, rotate through. We talk about variety all the time. If you're getting organic produce and you bring it home and you clean it, do the thieves cleaner and stuff, some of its own life force, because it has different bacteria as well, is going to get put inside you when you eat it. Now, if you boil it or you cook it off, you're not going to get that. But when you're throwing some stuff in your green drinks and you're throwing, some radish leaves in there and you're doing some, bok choy and you're throwing it in, and then tomorrow you do spinach and the next day you do a different green. Each one of those have a different vitamin and mineral profile, but they also have a different life force. They have a literal different bacteria that live inside and on that live food that we're going to get inside our body, and it works to feed that microbiome and its precursors. So start throwing different things that you haven't tried. Throw them in your salad. You can put pretty much anything in a salad. Take raw green beans, chop them up, throw them in your salad. Take peas, put them in your salad. Radishes, put them in your salad. Don't just always go with the same three vegetables over and over and over. Learn variety. And even if it is, say that you're a tomato fiend, you're like, I love tomatoes, I eat tomatoes every day. That's awesome. Then try a different type of tomato every time. So you get the big beefy, you get the little babies, you get the grapes, you get all different types, and using different varieties of the same stuff is still a great way to change what you're getting in. And then even maybe you're a potato person. I'm not going to judge you, but again, rotate through. So get red potatoes, purple potatoes, the yellow potatoes, all the different potatoes. Don't just always go for that same big bag of Idaho potatoes. Switch it up, even switching up where it's been grown. So it's coming from a different soil, because what is our soil supposed to have in it? One of the things I adore about Young Living is that our soil is alive. It's got life in it. It's got critters. It's got worms. Like, we breed worms to put worms back in the soil. And we make sure that there's life in our soil. So when you're getting your foods and getting them from different farms, you're still picking up different nutrients. So what can be grown in Idaho in their soil is going to be different from, say, a Michigan potato. I don't know where you get potatoes, but just learn to do variety, because you're going to see differences in your cells. And you could have some of the stuff that we go, well, everybody in my family has it. It's just been passed down. We all have, diabetes. Just everybody in my family has diabetes. A lot of times those diseases that we have are actually nutritional deficiencies. So everybody in your family ate the same six vegetables, they ate the same two types of meat, and it was consistent. You guys all did the same thing over and over and over. And what happened is you have a generation of people that are missing the same XYZ vitamin. Missing one vitamin or one mineral is going to cause fatigue. Just one. So how many do you think, because of a lack of variety, are you missing? So next time you're in the store, I'm not telling you right now, I'm not telling you to change your diet in any way, shape, or form, but just start branching out in the varieties of things that you consume. Just branch out a little bit. You'll see some things happening. Make sure you're incorporating some raw stuff on a regular basis. Again, why is that? Why is that? Because if you have canned green beans and that's what you're always eating, any of the vitamins that were alive in your green beans have died off once they're in the can. So making sure you're getting some raw, especially right now, y'all, we're coming in the spring and the summer. It's gonna be yummy. Just do some of that. So your food is important. Your water is important. Are you ready for another one that's gonna blow your mind? For detoxing your body, movement is key. Like getting up and moving. I know I talk about movement and stuff a lot, but in this particular category, there's a really important reason. So we have these detox organs. So you've got only a few ways for your body to get garbage out. Only a few. You would think we would have a lot. We have a few. We can get garbage out through our bowels. That makes sense. We all got that. We can get garbage out through our bladder, so we can urinate stuff that we don't need. Our body cleans stuff out. We can get it through our sweat. So when you are sweating and you're working, your body is able to detox some stuff. So we call that through your skin. So you can detox through your skin. You can detox through your breath. When you're breathing out, your body is letting go some of the buildup of toxins and chemicals. So we don't have a whole lot of places. Your liver is really important in that detox pathway, which we'll go really in depth next week. But I need you to understand that that movement, the reason it's important is because the movement also moves something called our lymphatic system. And our lymphatic system is so important when it comes to detoxing. Your lymphatic system, I want you, when you're done with this call, I want you to Google a picture of your lymphatic system, and you will find that it's everywhere. It's through your breast, it's through your legs, it's through everywhere, your lymph system. And your lymph system can only move garbage. Its job is to go and take broken cells, toxins that aren't supposed to be there, things that the liver is breaking down, stuff that's coming from the intestines when it's leaking out. It's all supposed to go into our sewer system, which the lymph system is a part of, and it gets taken into the lymph system. But the only way the body can move the lymph into the kidneys so it can go out through our urine is from movement. It's this, that peristalsis. You have something similar when it comes to your body, and bouncing is one of the best ways to get the lymph system from moving. So if you've got a trampoline out back that your kids always play on, go out there and play with your kids for 5-10 minutes a couple of times a day, and it will get that happening. And if not, bounce where you are. If you can't get up and move, bounce. You can get some bounce going on, and that bouncing works just like when I said you're milking a cow. It squeezes, the muscle squeezes, and it pushes some down. Then another muscle squeezes and it pushes. And that's how it gets moved through our system. But it has to happen through movement. So start thinking about that. What kind of movement can you add to your life? Even if it's only a few minutes, just the bouncing or walking or jogging or riding or whatever it is that you can do to keep that movement happening. It's going to help with detox, and you'll really get the picture for that next week when we are talking about liver and kidneys. You're going to see why that's so important. So those are some basic key things that you can do to really start the process. I want to talk about some things that you can add into your life that are Young Living products. So the first one I want to talk about, I didn't bring everything in. I should have brought stuff. I'm going to look at my notes. So I have a bunch of cheat sheets, but so you know, my cheat sheets are just off of Young Living's website. They're the product information pages that you can download. And then I did things like this. I copied what they had on all of the product, all of the things that are in like your comfort zone. And I just wrote everything down. And then this is how I research. People are always asking me, how do you know all this? It's because I researched the stuff to see what was Gary's thought process when he was putting in there. Some of the information comes from classes that we've had when Gary was teaching. Some of it is stuff that we just learned along the way. So the first that I want to talk about is called our cleansing trio. It is 3 products that Gary created to work together as a team to go through and do all kinds of things. So the first one I'm going to do, what one pops up first? We are going to do ICP. So ICP is a deep cleansing powder. So what you're going to do is take a couple of teaspoons, put it in water, mix it up, and you're going to drink that down. Now, I want you to know This is not fiber packed. Like every time somebody gets one of the powders, they're like, oh, this is probably just full of fiber. It's going to make me poop. Nope. Gary was very conscientious when he created our ICP, and it is designed to go in there and reinstate that peristalsis. So it's really important to know that it's feeding your entire digestive system. It is all kinds of different herbs and fibers that work in tandem to do so many different parts and pieces. So the first ingredient that is in there is the psyllium seed powder. And this is ground up psyllium seeds. And psyllium, like you can Google, psyllium is known for working with cholesterol. It helps to lower that, helps with blood pressure. Psyllium helps you to feel full when you eat psyllium. You can sprinkle psyllium on your salads. There's all kinds of things, but Gary has it in here as a base because it holds together all of these other amazing things that are added. And keep in mind, like I said, this is not fiber just for fiber's sake. There's only 1 gram of soluble fiber and 1 gram of unsoluble fiber in the ICP. So it's not fiber just for fiber. The next one is Oat Brand Powder. Again, you can look up Oat Brand Powder and Psyllium are both prebiotics. So they're feeding that good flora that we have because of the way that they help with absorption and they teach our body to start sucking all the nutrients back up. They're amazing for what they can do for your heart, for your immune system, because it's all about absorption. You can eat amazing things, but if it can't be absorbed, you're still going to have those missing links, those missing puzzle pieces we talk about. It also has flaxseed powder in there. It has fennel seed. Fennel, amazing for the gut, what it can do for reinstating all of that good mucosal lining we're supposed to have. Phenomenal for that. It's got the Guar Gum. Now, this Guar Gum, let me read it. Guar Gum. You can see some negative reports on it, but then you can see all the health reports. So I think it depends on how it is processed. So in here, it is the actual seed that we powder up, and it is food for the intestines. It is a prebiotic for all those life forms we're supposed to have, and it's very slow at fermenting. Some fibers ferment really, really quick. Guar Gum doesn't. It is a slow fermenter, so it's able to work in tandem. So you have some of our fibers that break down really quick. They feed everything, they ferment, they're doing all their stuff. Then you have some that are slow, so it's kind of think time released. Something you can think of with that. It has yucca root powder. That's another one that you can Google and see what does it do? Why did Gary add it? Gary never made a product just for profit. It was always because it did something specific. So even if it was a hard to source item, he would put it in there because he knew we needed it. So when you have items that you're like, why is that out of stock? It's probably because we're waiting on some of those that are harder to get, but it was important enough that Gary wanted it in there. We also have in there, so here are the oils that are in our ICP. It has fennel seed oil. It has anise, which I always pronounce as anise. So make sure you slow down when you're doing that. Nobody wants anise oil. Then we've got tarragon, aloe leaf, ginger root, lemongrass, rosemary. And all of those, like you can write those down and go, okay, these are amazing oils that are added to it because they're great for gut health. So if you have any of those in a vitality oil, you can add those and up the power that you're going to get with your oils because they're already combined in there. It also has in our ICP an enzyme blend. So it has lipase. Now, I'll tell you this, we're going to go really in depth on enzymes in one of the other weeks, but I want to give you a basis. So in the ICP blend, we've got lipase. Lipase is an enzyme that breaks down fats. It literally goes in, it digests them, and then takes all those amazing fatty acids and puts them where they belong. So lipase, somebody that doesn't have enough lipase, you'll notice that when you eat like nuts or seeds, you'll see them in the stool when you go to the bathroom. And what's happening is that the body didn't have the enzyme it took to break that down. In there, we also have protease, actually 3 different types of protease. We have phytase. Here's the partner. So phytase breaks down phytates. So there's a whole world of people that are avoiding plants because of the phytic acid and they're afraid of it and the damage that it can do. But what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to have phytase in our diet because it breaks down those bonding molecules so they don't hurt us. So that is already in there. So think nuts. They always have that binding that is on there, the phytic acid that's there. But you can soak your nuts and it begins to break that down as soon as they start to grow. And you can also make sure you're getting an enzyme that helps to break it down. So if you're just eating a handful of nuts, make sure you're taking something that can break it down and digest it so my body can then get to the good fatty acids and the minerals and all the vitamins that are inside all those nuts and seeds. So that's already in the ICP. Then there's peptidase, which also helps with breaking down proteins. So there's just a nice broad range enzymes that are already in your ICP. It's only like 123 milligrams, so it's not the major portion, but it's huge. Also note there's 20 calories in a serving, 4 grams of carbohydrates, but there's 3 grams of dietary fiber. So for those of you that are paying attention to your net carbs, your ICP only has 1 net carb, and the amount of cleansing that it does when you're going through the process, literally, it's just priceless. It's a huge one. And you're just taking 2 rounded teaspoons and putting it in 8 ounces of water. And if, mix that up, you want to drink it really fast because it does have things like psyllium and what's the other one that I just told you? It has psyllium and they expand. So it will get thick if you don't drink it right away. So mix it up, drink it. I know lots of people drink it with something else, like they throw a little apple juice or they put their Ninja Rat in there or different things. You can do whatever you need to do to get it down. And ICP is one that is, you should do a 3-month cleanse that has that ICP in there every single year. This is deep cleansing, moving all that garbage out, taking that out of the body. So if you eat a lot of proteins, if you are a carnivore or even keto, they tend to be a little higher in proteins. You could do that 3 times a day. Take that the ICP 3 times a day. If you are a vegetarian, you could do it just the 1 time a day because you're getting fiber from other sources. So anyways, that's a really phenomenal one. So that is our ICP. The other one that comes in that blend that we talked about, the 3 is Comfortone. So this is Comfortone. I'll post my little cheat sheet, but literally I copied it from the Young Living website. All I did is check out the Latin names of everything. So the Comfortone blend partners with the ICP to reinstate that peristalsis, to work with the absorption that we're supposed to have in our bowels. So it's a really important one. The number 1 ingredient in the Comfortone is Casa Sagrada, no, Cascara Sagrada. I always pronounce it weird. You do you. It's in there. But what that is a super mild muscle. It increases the muscle contractions we're supposed to have in our intestines. It increases that mild. So all of this stuff I'm talking about, it's not you're going to do a cleanse and you have to stay home for 24 hours. Nope. This is stuff you're going to be able to do while you're going about your life. It is soft, it is gentle, it's natural, and you're going to notice that you start getting an increase in the amount of bowel movements that you have, but it's not going to be like loose stool diarrhea type situation because there is a middle place. It shouldn't take us 15 minutes in a book to poop, y'all. We should be able to have normal, healthy bowel movements and go in and do our business. And this Comfortone is going to partner with the ICP to make that happen. In addition, it has psyllium husk, it has fennel seed. So not just the oil, but the fennel seed is actually ground up. It has burdock, garlic root. So when you're thinking about that overgrowth of things that we get going on, we'll talk more of this in that next session. But when you have that, this helps to kill off all of that extra that should not be there, just to clean it up, to keep that environment, as gross as it sounds. Our poop should be pretty clean, and this is able to keep it clean and function like it's supposed to. It also has bentonite clay. One of the cool things that you can Google bentonite clay, but bentonite clays, what's the best way to do it? It works like a sponge. It absorbs dirt and gunk that shouldn't be there and just wraps it up so it can be moved out through the bowels. That's in there. You can get just bentonite clay and use it for your face, and it does the same thing. You'll notice it's in some of our other facial products that we have because of how that works. Then we have diatomaceous earth. Now, diatomaceous earth are a breakdown of diatoms, which are an ancient fish type. I don't think fish, sea creature lived in the ocean, but they have broke down through all of the years, and they are full of so many different parts and particles that our bowels love. But you can even take diatomaceous earth. Get this, you can get just diatomaceous earth, and you can sprinkle it in your garden, and it will cut and break up any of the bad bacteria, critters, things that shouldn't be there, then it goes through our gut and it just scrubs and it just cleans and it takes care of anything that shouldn't be living there and helps to get it out. So that's already in there, and so many different recipes for cleansing. Diatomaceous earth is one of the ones that is mentioned, but we already have it in there. Another thing that it does is it helps to dissolve fat. It helps to liquidize it. And so it does amazing things for cholesterol because it breaks it down. And then what happens when, so you got the fatty molecule in there, um, the different herbs that are in here in the diatomaceous earth help to break it down into small pieces, but then your body reuses it. It recycles and says, oh, I need that fatty acid for this, and I need that fatty acid for this. And then it goes, ooh, I don't even know what that fat is. It's a man-made molecule, and it goes out in your stool. So our body is brilliant the way that it works. So that's in there. And because it works with the fats, diatomaceous earth has been shown to be just amazing for your heart. But overall, getting your gut clean is great for the heart and it's great for the immune system. Like there's a whole class just on all the things that it does, getting it moving. It has ginger root in there, chamomile, apple pectin, licorice, like so many things. Cayenne, which is supposed to help your burn rate. It's already in your comfort zone. Then the oils are in there. You're going to see some of these overlap are tarragon, ginger, tangerine, anise, and again, gotta pronounce that one right. Rosemary, ocotea oil. We're gonna talk about that one when we talk about the toxins and getting all the garbage, the molds, the fungus, all the things, and all the critters. We'll talk about that one a little more. And German chamomile. This one is for your 3 comfort tone because that's a serving. It's 5 calories and 1 carb and 1 gram of fiber. So it is a 0 net carbs. Again, I know that doesn't affect everybody, but it's stuff I wanted to know. It's stuff I needed to have, in my toolbox. Now, the next thing that is in there is essential zyme. Essential zyme is a broad range enzymes. It has a whole lot of enzymes that break down proteins. So it's able to break down all those molecules, all that stuff that's the encrusted fecal matter that's in there. A lot of that is proteins that are hard for our body to digest. It does have some other stuff that breaks down carbohydrates and a little bit that breaks down different types of fat. So that is the one that comes in that trio. And you can literally go online and look at the cleansing trio and you can get those 3 products. And you can start there and it will do amazing things for your gut. But I have a few things that I would like to add on. And one of them is our Life 9. Life 9 right here. This is the product information sheet with just notes on it of mine. And in our Life 9, one capsule has 17 billion live cultures and 9 different types of bacteria. And these are the good friendly bacteria that go in there and breed. So your best bet with your Life 9 is take one right before bed and let it just sit in there and ferment. We want it to grow and we want it to implant. In that Life 9, you can do one of those every single day. And you could do more if you feel like that you need it. You could increase that amount. If you know you're eating no fermented foods, you could do more of your Life 9. You can open up the capsule and put it in for your littles. It can be in the food. We also have something called Mighty Pro, which gives our littles a lot of the probiotics that they need as well. So those are some things that are in there. And then I want to give you a shout out to like things like Life 9 and what it does for your immune system. Because remember, all of those good flora, their job is to keep all of the bacteria that's hinky and keep them under control. So increasing that, doing the fermented foods, the kimchi, the coleslaw. You know, your coleslaw, when you make it day 1, it's not a fermented food, but by day 2, it begins to ferment a little bit. So by day 3, 4, 5, you've got some fermentation happening. So there's lots of good ways to start incorporating those live foods in there. So things to think about. That is our Life 9. The other ways I want to talk about some of the things we have that have probiotics or prebiotics in there. This is not necessarily cleansing, but things you ought to know. We have things like our master formula. Our master formula is basically our one a day. So it's a one little package of them a day, and it's got your prebiotics in there. It's got a lot of different enzymes in there, and it's got whole food sources. So it's got, broccoli, it's got cauliflower, it's got that, just all kinds of different whole foods. It's where the actual minerals and the nutrients come from. I love that about it. So you have that going on, but then I could not teach this class and not mention our sleek line. So our sleek citrus lime has prebiotics. It has inulin, which is food for all of that good flora. It has probiotics in here. It has a little bit of enzymes in here. It's got oils that help. And our sleek line is designed to help with appetite control because all of the good fat, the good fibers that are in here expand and help you to feel full. And then the oils that are in there help you to feel satisfied. So you're all good with whatever it is you just had. They also increase the amount of leptin. So that your body says, yeah, I'm good, I don't want any more. So your cells are more responsive. So that's some of the stuff that is in here. It's designed to help with weight loss. And that's part of the reason. And you'll see that this is a great one. You could take this with the whole cleansing trio and take these. You're going to take, it's two different little packets. Like this, two packets, and you take one in the morning at breakfast and you take one before your lunch, or you can take two before breakfast, two before lunch. You know, it just depends on you. And you're going to see some really good things happening. It's going to help with food cravings. It's going to help so that you feel more balanced. You know, your blood sugar shoots up, down, shoots up. This one just helps you to feel full so you don't have that crazy going on. That one. And then this, I want to talk about actually all of our shake mixes, but I'm going to start with your sleek shake. So the sleek is super convenient because it comes prepackaged. This is one serving. And in that one serving, you get, I want to make sure you guys get it right, 190 calories. You get 6 grams of those healthy fatty acids that we talked about. You have 23 carbohydrates and 5 dietary fiber. So this is our vegan source. And in here, you're also getting all of those vitamins and minerals that we talked about. And the fiber source that you have, that 5 grams of fiber, those are prebiotics. So those are going to really partner with you. The other one I want to talk about is my favorite, is our pure protein. So our pure protein is 25 grams of protein. It's got your fiber in there and it has that big enzyme lineup that we just talked about. It's got enzymes already in it. The enzymes that are in there are all ones that are designed to break down all of the proteins and the carbohydrates that are in there so you get full absorption. It has something called Elevate TP. It's got this amazing mineral profile. Again, you go back to fossils like our diatomaceous earth. This is fossilized minerals that we're getting straight from the earth right into our body, and our body knows exactly what to do with it. So there's some things you can add. You don't have to do all of this. You don't have to do any of it. You can do you, right? But you would be fine doing them together, intermixing the different shake mixes, just figuring out a way to make it work for you. And then the last one I want to really talk about is ICP Daily. So we have ICP, which is that deep cleanse. You need 3 months, get all that get all the poo out, right? That's what you want done. You want to clean all that out, reinstate movement. Our ICP Daily is a delicious, I have to like underline that word, is a delicious powder. Did I even bring it? I did. It's a, it's a powder and it tastes amazing. So in this, you are getting 6 grams of prebiotics. You are getting 5 grams of fiber. Let me look at my notes so I don't mess anything up. It's 15 calories, 7 carbohydrates, and 5 fiber. So it's only 2 net carbs. So if you took everything that we just talked about, except for the shakes, but if you took all of the other stuff, it is only 4 net carbs. So for all my friends that are keto, carnivore, even water fasting, these ones are going to work in conjunction with it to keep your body cleaning like it's supposed to. As a matter of fact, a couple days ago, oh, maybe 3 days, 2 days, I don't remember. I am on day, what am I, 34 or 33 of a water fast. And I had a few days where I was just so tired. And I posted online and I said, y'all, I don't know if I can do this. Like I've got 8 days left and I am exhausted, zero energy, and I feel bloated. Like I'm feeling, how can I feel bloated? I haven't had anything but water and a few different supplements that I take. And I had jokingly said on there, I kind of feel like I need a BM. So I'm either going to do a saltwater flush, I'm going to do my ICP. Something has got to get something moving because I feel bloated. And I went ahead and I went with the ICP Daily. So I did that. Probably 3 times in a 24-hour period. So I did it that afternoon, I did it before bed, and I did it in the morning. And I did have so too much information. A very nasty, stinky, slimy BM. Like some things moved, but my energy level today is back to normal. So I still haven't had food, but I did up some of my supplements and I am feeling so much better. And I'm still in ketosis. My ketones today was like 4.9. So I'm still in ketosis. It did not raise my blood sugar, not even I didn't see a blip on my blood sugar. So there's things that you can do, and this one worked really, really well to get my body moving. It wasn't uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I had to run to the bathroom. Nothing. I did sip on it. So this one doesn't expand as quickly as ICP. So what I did is it's supposed to be with 8 ounces of water, and I mixed it with like 20 ounces of water so I could sip on it. I wasn't sure if not eating for all that time, if it would be too harsh on my system, but I sipped on it. And then, like I said, I had one that evening, sipped on that, and I had a smooth move tea that same night. But I had already had a bowel movement by then, and I had increased my Life 9 and just some different things to give my body a little boost. And I figured if it didn't work, I'll probably have to end the water fast because I was super fatigued. But it did, and it was better than just cutting out and just not doing it. So it worked for me. So in this, so you guys know, I want to make sure I keep all the info for you guys. It's amazing for your gut bacteria. It supports your whole digestive system. It increases your immune health, so it's great for your own immune system. It helps to cleanse out metabolic toxins, which is one of the ones we're going to talk about in 2 weeks anyways. It has agave inulin. So it's not agave. When I see the agave, I'm like, yo, I can't have all that sweetener. And it's not. It's actually the fiber it's a cactus, agave is, and they took the fiber, the inulin from the agave, and they're using that inside here to help with that prebiotic. It is food for all those good guys in your gut. So that is what you have in there. You also have that guar gum that we talked about, plant-based, high quality, amazing for your gut. It's great with that soluble prebiotic fiber. And again, I told you that slow fermentation. You've got that going on. It also has prickly pear cactus extract. And that one helps with that whole mucosa lining that we talk about, the mucosa lining in your stomach, the lining throughout your entire intestines. It helps to restore that, which is super important. When you hear people saying, oh, every time I eat, I get that burn or my belly's upset. It's just, it needs a little love on that mucosa lining. And that cactus, the prickly pear cactus, helps to give that back and increase it. So it's super exciting. Let's see, it also aids in your body's overall natural detoxification. It helps with the gut microbiome. It's 100% natural, plant-based passion fruit flavor. Has no added sugars, non-GMO, gluten-free, no artificial synthetic ingredients of any kind that are in there. It is vegan-friendly and keto-friendly. Let's see, supports the cardiovascular, the immune, helps you feel full longer. I love this. Because of the blend that they have in there, it helps with overall absorption of minerals. So you're getting a better mineral profile anytime you're doing anything, and any natural ones that come in there. And it also has the exact same oil blend that's in our ICP. So it's got your tarragon, it's got your fennel, it has rosemary, ginger, lemongrass, and that was a blend that Gary Young put together because it's so powerful for our bowels to begin with. Again, one scoop is 15 calories, 7 carbs, and 5 fiber. So I'm in love with this new guy. It's a little bit like, okay, I couldn't do 8 ounces with it. It tasted too sweet, the little sip, but I haven't eaten in 33 days the day that I did this. So 32 days. So anything would have tasted really sweet to me. So I did. I just put it in more water. It was fine. I will also tell you, it's safe all the way down to 4-year-olds on the container that they can take this. I would do a half a dose on anybody under 75, 100 pounds, just because they're not going to need quite as much. But my granddaughter, my oldest daughter is pregnant. I told you guys that. And, she's drinking it. She's loving what it has done for the gut and the bowel movements and all the good things. And even if you read the information sheet, it even says it's good for diarrhea. So for loose stools, this one is going to help. Because again, it's all about balance, y'all. It's getting that balance happening. But anyways, my daughter drinks it and loves it. And my granddaughter sips out of a straw and drinks some of her mom's every single day. And she is going to turn 2 next month. And what Alicia has noticed, because she's been doing the prebiotics with her since she's been a teeny tiny one, but she's noticing that when she says she has to go poop, she goes in and she goes poop and she's done pooping. It's not that process of let's read a book, mom. So it has even helped her. And she's not drinking a whole serving, half a serving. You know, you got to do you. She's only 2. The bottle says 4, so be sure to do you, but that's what her mom's doing, and it's been really great for her. So those are your basics, guys, and I am trying to keep these all at 100, not 100 minutes, at an hour, but some might be a little less, a little more. I would like to be able to do them shorter, but I think there's just too much info. Then I want to throw some just oil basics. Digize Vitality. Rub that on. Fennel Vitality, rosemary Vitality, all those oils that I have read that are in the blends that Gary put together for our gut. Those are all ones that you could play with. So maybe you don't have Digest. Okay, make your own little blend. I drink fennel tea all the time, even through all of this cleansing. I just do fennel in my hot water, and I do a little bit of salt in my hand. I put my oil on top of the salt. I blend it, sea salt, and I put it into whatever I'm going to drink. So if I'm doing my hot tea, I put it in there, and what happens is the salt helps the oils to emulsify, so they go throughout the cup instead of just floating on the top. So that's some things you can do. We will probably talk about saltwater flush. I don't know where to fit it in. It belonged in today's class, but I don't have time for it. But you can Google what a saltwater flush is. That's another good way to just help yourself get that BM happening. Magnesium, so important for that movement, that action that we're supposed to have. So make sure you're checking on that. Check on things like your electrolytes. We'll talk on more on that. There's always something else to do. So remember, next Tuesday, 1 o'clock, we will be here for part 2. It's going to be all the liver and the kidneys and the amazing things. So if you found this, if somebody sent this link to you and you're wanting to get some of your stuff, there's lots of ways you can do that. Get back with the person that sent you the link. If you found us on somebody's Facebook page, get back to that person's Facebook page and they will help you. If you found us by accident, shoot me a message. I can help get you started. If you're already in Young Living, go ahead and get a hold of somebody in your upline and they'll help you out too. All right, you guys, God bless. Have a great day.